This is FET320. So in this question we'll be looking at SQL again. Each time a student is absent from school, the date is recorded in the rational database table A as shown below. So here we have our table A. Which of the following is an appropriate SQL statement that can be used to create table B containing all of the students who have been absent from school for 2 consecutive days? Here the dateDiff function calculates time periods between 2 dates. For example, dateDiff 2012-04-11, 2012-04-10 returns 1 because there's only a difference of 1 in the days. Here is a list of the SQL functions that could be used. We will see which one will provide the correct functionality for us. First of all, select distinct A student ID from A, A as A1, where dateDiff A.absenceDate A1.absenceDate is equal to 1. Select distinct A.studentID from A, where dateDiff absenceDate, A.absenceDate is equal to 1. Select distinct A.studentID from A as A1, where A.studentID is equal to A1.studentID, or dateDiff A.absenceDate A1.absenceDate equals 1. And finally D, select distinct A.studentID from A as A1, where A.studentID equals A1.studentID and dateDiff A.absenceDate A1.absenceDate is equal to 1. So the main functions that we should look at here is the select distinct, the from, the where, and the dateDiff, and how we should use these in specific cases, and what is the correct syntax. We also have 2 functions here, our OR and our AND, that we should pay attention to. Let's look at some database concepts to help answer our question. The SQL self-join is used to join a table to itself as if the table were 2 tables, temporarily renaming at least one table in the SQL statement. Temporarily renaming a table or a column by giving it another name is known as using an alias. Alias is used to rename a table or field, column, for the purpose of a particular SQL query. The renaming is a temporary change and does not change the name of the table in the database. The select distinct statement is used to return only distinct values in a particular field. The SQL statement in D performs a self-join. Here, table A is considered as itself and A1 as another distinct table. According to the conditions, A.studentID is equal to A1.studentID, and dateDiff A.absenceDate, A1.absenceDate is equal to 1. Student ID is retrieved when the date difference of 1 is found for the same student. If we look at the tables here, we have our 2 tables considered as 2 separate distinct tables, even though they're the same table. Here, what we're doing is when A.studentID is equal to A1.studentID, and we find a date difference between 2 dates of 1, we're able to make the comparison statement, and this is what we're looking for. So here we can see these lines show the comparisons that are being made by the SQL statements. So finally, the query should have now produced 4 records, 2 for S10 and 2 for S12. Since the distinct clause is used, only distinct records are retrieved. Thus, only S10 and S12 is produced in table B. Therefore, D is the correct answer for this question. Let's have a quick look at some of the other statements of SQL that we used. In A, we perform a self-join. Here, table A and table A1 are considered as two distinct tables, but are the same as in the question that we just answered, with D being the correct answer. According to the condition date diff a.absence date, a1.absence date, student ID is retrieved when a date difference of 1 day is found for the same student. Here, only date difference is considered, and as a result, all student IDs having a date difference of 1 day with any other student ID is also considered, and all 4 students are retrieved from the table. In B, we return all records whose date difference is equal to 1. Since there is no date difference for the same record, no record is retrieved. Finally, in C, the SQL statement performs a self-join again, the same one that we've mentioned twice, where A and A1 are considered two distinct tables. According to the condition a.studentID equals a1.studentID, or date diff is equal to a.absence table date, a1.absence date equal to 1, a student ID is retrieved when either date difference of 1 day is found, or a student ID matches another student ID on the other table. As distinct clause is used, each student from the table will only be retrieved once. So here we can see the answer is D. What we've looked at here is a bit deeper into some SQL statements and how we can retrieve certain data points that we need from tables to create new tables using the self-join function as well as the distinct function.